Hey there, happy Sagittarius season. This is your reading for your sun, moon, and rising sign placements between November 22nd and December 21st in 2025. Welcome back to Embodied Astrology. My name is Renee. If we have not met before, thanks so much for tuning in with the channel. Just a quick announcement before I get to your season ahead. My 2026 year ahead readings are now on sale. These annual readings provide in-depth insight and embodied integration to help you make the most of the opportunities and work skillfully with the challenges of the upcoming year's most important transits, retrogrades, and eclipses. And for the astro lovers in your life, these readings also make excellent gifts. And if you've been interested in getting a personal reading from me, now is your chance. Or you might be interested in getting a reading with one of my amazing students, who I will say are also quickly becoming my teachers because they are truly brilliant. And we've organized a raffle through Sagittarius and Capricorn season to raise funds for one of our beloved Jamaican colleagues at Embodied Astrology, whose family and community were intensely impacted by Hurricane Melissa. So throughout this month and next, you can enter the raffle by donating directly to one of the fundraisers we're supporting and sending us your donation receipt. This is an exciting reading raffle. We have super skilled, highly intuitive, intelligent, insightful, funny, kind, compassionate astrologers and tarot readers who have so much to offer. And whether or not you win a reading, your donation will mean so much to folks who've lost so much. So please consider entering. You can find all the information you need to enter the raffle or get your 2026 year ahead reading in the show notes below. Okay, so let's get into your reading, and definitely make sure to stick around after the reading because I have a few more things to tell you about how you can get involved with me or with Embodied Astrology. Hello Pisces, welcome to Sagittarius season. We are here. What I have to offer you in Sagittarius season is a little bit different than my usual style of reading. Instead of giving you the meanings that I'm making, I want to open up some space for you to really make your own meaning. And this month's Sagittarius season offering is a guided journey specific for your sign to do a little bit of work with what we are working with right now, which is the direct motion of multiple planets. We are coming out of multiple retrogrades as we move into Sagittarius season. So just a couple of days into the season, both Saturn and Mercury are stationing direct. Now, Mercury has only been retrograde for the last 3 weeks or so, but Saturn has been retrograde for several months, and it has been retrograde where else but in Pisces. Earlier this year, Saturn made its first ingress in 30 years into Aries, the sign that follows yours. It only made it into the very early degrees before it stationed retrograde then, and now has moved back into Pisces. Saturn is stationing direct around November 26th. And by early next year, it will be out of your sign for the next 30 years. Saturn will not be back to Pisces for another 30 years. Mercury is stationing direct on the 29th of November. Mercury stationed retrograde back on the 9th of November in Sagittarius, but it's stationing direct in Scorpio. So this retrograde has been a journey. It's been a transition from the deep waters of Scorpio into the moving fire of Sagittarius and then back again. Now, both Scorpio and Sagittarius are really important signs for you as well because they hold the top of your chart wheel. And this place in the chart has a lot to do with your sense of purpose and vision and directive in your life. It has a lot to do with your beliefs, your philosophies, your faith, your worldview, how you grow and how you learn your lessons, and then how you apply what you are really anchored in whatever it is that you do with your life. And definitely that includes your career and vocation, but it includes all kinds of things like how you create a family or how you embody your politics or how you are part of world building and the legacy that you will leave. Later on in Sagittarius season, Neptune is also stationing direct, also in Pisces. Neptune is, according to some schools of astrology, the ruler of Pisces, or it might be considered the modern ruler. You get two, Neptune and Jupiter. Neptune, like Saturn, also moved into Aries earlier this year, also just made it to the very first degrees, also has moved back into Pisces. It is lingering at the very, very last degree of your sign, which happens to be the very last degree of the zodiac. This is giving end of the world days. And I'm recording for you in September. I don't know how it's going to feel by the time we get to November, December, but it's been feeling like the end days for a minute. We are definitely living through so much. And many people are not living through it. And many species and ecosystems are not living through it. So what is happening as Neptune is stationing direct in the very last degree of the zodiac is a collective happening. And we are all here. If you're listening to this, you're a person existing inside of the collective and also in some way shaping it. So we are going to be working with these retrograde themes in a guided journey. In this guided journey, what I want to do is invite you into some reflection processes around these retrogrades into the past so that then we can move into the future. I would suggest that you make special time to do this practice with me, that you carve out half an hour uninterrupted, right, where you can just be in your own space, have a pen and paper nearby, get comfortable so that you can drop in, tune in, and work with this meditation. Sometimes people don't have that kind of time. A lot of times people tune in with these recordings while they are in transit or in motion in some way. So you can also just listen and contemplate, but if you are able to make the time for this, please do. Have a pen and paper close by. We are going to go on a journey, Pisces. So get comfy. You might want to sit down, you might want to lie down, adjust your space so that it is conducive for you to bring your awareness in. You might want to close your eyes if that feels safe and good. If you'd prefer to keep your eyes open, allow your vision to get soft. Maybe allow your eyes to be a little bit downcast and bring your sensory awareness into your body. Let's take 3 deep breaths. As you inhale, feel your inhale expand up and out into the space in front of you, broadening your chest. As you exhale, feel the ground beneath you and start to bring awareness into the space behind you. As you inhale, feel your breath extending out. You might want to stretch a little bit, move your body. As you exhale, relax any amount that you can. And again, feel the ground, feel the space behind you. One more deep breath. As you inhale, you might just feel any kind of intention you have in your heart for this current moment of your life. And as you exhale, just offer it to the universe. Maybe something helpful can come through in this journey that we are about to take. All right, so as you continue to breathe, I'd love for you to continue to explore your sensory awareness in the space behind your body. Bring curiosity and attention into the space behind your head, into your back body. See if you can sense into the space behind you, maybe even a couple of inches or feet or whatever metric of distance you use. Let's imagine that we can travel back into the past and we are going to expand the container of time into a really big envelope. We are going to reflect all the way back to 2011. This was the year that Neptune entered Pisces. So expanding your consciousness, remembering, recollecting all the way back to 2011. See in your mind what you looked like then. What kind of person were you in 2011? Do you remember your style at that point? Maybe it was similar to your style now. Maybe it was very different. What kind of hairdo did you have? How did you feel about yourself or think about yourself? In 2011, what was the dream that you had for your own life and for your becoming? So now please pause the recording and take as much time as you need to make some notes and reflect on 2011, who you were, and what the dream was for your life at that time. All right, so pause the recording for as long as you need, and then when you're ready, you're going to press play, and we're going to come back together. And let's do a little bit of a scan of the time since 2011. In the time since 2011, how has your dream been shifting and evolving and changing, and maybe in some ways coming true, and maybe in other ways revealing itself as a dream? Over these last 14 years, I want to invite you to think about how the dream has changed. How the dream has changed. What was the dream you had in 2011? How has the dream changed since then? What aspects of the dream have come true? What aspects of the dream revealed themselves to be nothing more than a fantasy? Pause the recording, take your time, take some notes, write down your dreams and how they have changed. Then we will continue to feel into the back body, sense into the space behind. And as you recollect these last 14 years and remember this dream you've been dreaming and the way that the dream has been changing, let's pull in the container of time a little bit closer into the last 2.5 years. And I want to invite you now to remember back to the year 2023. Some of you might even be able to remember the month of March in 2023. This was when Saturn entered your sign. Now, over the last 2.5 years, as Saturn has been moving through Pisces, I'm curious, what challenges have you experienced? Have there been ways that you have been feeling pressure, either pressure internally or pressure externally? What has that pressure taught you about your own limitations and strengths? In these last 2.5 years, how have you been feeling challenged in the dream of who you are and who you are becoming? And how have those challenges shaped you and shaped the dream that you are and that you are creating? Pause the recording, take as much time as you need, and make some notes or journal a little bit about the last 2.5 years. What have the challenges been? What kinds of pressures have you experienced? How have these challenges and pressures taught you about your own limitations and capacities? How have they informed the dream that you are dreaming? Welcome back from 2.5 years, Pisces. Let's pull the container of time a little bit closer, starting to bring your awareness very much into the skin of your back body, into the back of your scalp. And now let's just remember back in these last few weeks or months. Can you reflect back to late October in 2025? And in the time since then, I'm curious, what have you been thinking about? What have you been meditating on? Everybody is a meditator, whether or not they know it or intend to be. We all meditate in ways that have us focusing, sometimes fixated, sometimes spiraling around, sometimes very intentionally concentrating. In this last little stretch of time since late October, what directions has your mind been pulled most frequently? What have you been trying to figure out or work out or point your awareness towards? What have you been trying to do, and where have you been trying to go in these last weeks, maybe up to a month, maybe even 2 months? Take your time, pause the recording, write some notes. All right, Pisces, we are going to stay in this envelope of time, the last weeks, the last months since late October. And now I want to ask you, how have you been being tested in this period of time when it comes to what you believe is possible? Has your faith been being tested? Has your optimism been being tested? Has your energy been tested in some way? And in what ways have these tests required you to dig deep for your own meaning? Take your time, pause the recording, make some notes. Think about the tests. Think about what you are discovering and uncovering and recovering for yourself when it comes to your own energy, your optimism, your faith. All right, Pisces, let's come into the present moment. Take a moment and just notice where you are. Here you are. It's the here and the now. We are not done yet. We are halfway through. So as you're ready, again, you might settle in, take some deep breaths, and now start to extend your awareness into the space in front of you. As you extend your awareness into the space in front of you, let's grow a lot of space. Let's imagine that you can sense way, 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 way out beyond the current moment and into the unforeseen future, all the way to 2038, 13 years from now. Neptune will be completing its transit of Aries, the sign that comes after yours. In 2038, Pisces, what is the dream you have for your own abundance and the ways that your abundance spills into generosity and resource in the world? Now, you may or may not be here in 2038. Any of us may or may not be here 13 years from now. And so I encourage you to dream a dream for yourself that could include you and could also be in the afterwards of your life, in the energy that you leave behind, and in all that you pass on or influence because you were here. I want you to think about your deepest values. I want you to think about what is most important and precious to you. I also want you to think about your desires and your needs and your true sense of satisfaction. And by 2038, I want you to feel so satisfied and so seen and valued and taken care of. And I want you to feel so abundant that you have plenty to share and plenty to give. And if you have already transitioned into spirit at that point, I want your energy to be rippling out still in ways that really are resourcing and nourishing to those in that which have had the good fortune to connect with you. Pisces, if anything that I just said can stimulate just a little bit of your own dream, make the meanings that are meaningful for you, pause the recording and take some notes and write down your dreams for the future. All right, Pisces, let's pull the future in a little bit closer. Allow your awareness now to extend into the space in front of you, maybe just an arm's reach away. In this envelope of time, let's think towards the next 2.5 years, 2028. Saturn will be finishing its transit through Aries, the sign that comes after yours. Think about that big dream that you have for 2038 and then pull back a whole decade and then pull back to right now and project yourself forward just into the next 2.5 years. If you want to make the dream of 2038 come true, what do you need to do in the next 2.5 years? What intentions can you set now to clarify your commitments, your dedication, to actually enact what is so important for you? We are thinking about the realms of what is most important to you, your deepest values, your most treasured, most precious. What is it? What do you want to accumulate? What do you want to build? What do you want to have plenty of? Think about your resources. Think about resource as material, as financial, as energetic, as time, as relationship. Fill your cup. In the next 2.5 years, Pisces, what's the work that actually is going to get you here? What is the labor that you need to show up for in order to clarify your values, in order to build the space to receive and collect? What is the work that is yours in the next 2.5 years to achieve this dream? Take your time, pause the recording, make your notes. Now let's bring the container of time very, very, very close. Feel into the skin at the front of your body. You might pay attention to the place where light meets your eyes or sound comes into your ears. You might feel your fingertips moving through the air. And imagine just 5 or 6 months from now. Let's forecast forwards into May of 2026. We are in Taurus season or Gemini season. In 5 or 6 months from now, you will be in the early stages of embarking on this work, on the labor that is essential and necessary for you to do to achieve that big dream of 2038. But the beginning stages are tender and fragile, and they require focus, concentration, and awareness of intentionality. In this next 6 months, Pisces, what do you need to remember and keep in mind so that you can really set yourself up well for this work that you are trying to do? I want to invite you in this next reflection to write some mantras, some affirmations, some messages to your future self next week, next month, and next year. These are messages and affirmations that help you remember why you are doing the thing that you are doing, what it is that you are doing, and why it is so important and valuable for you. So take your time, pause the recording, and write down your messages, your mantras, and your affirmations. Okay, Pisces, welcome back to the present moment. Let's come into the here and the now. Feel your body, notice where you are, maybe stretch a little bit, deepen your breath. We just took a journey into the past and into the future, and I am hoping that you have harvested some content from this journey that is informative for you around some of your next steps, and also maybe some pieces that need your attention and integration or resolution from what is still processing from the past. So before I close this reading, I want to give you 2 more markers of time in the very near future. Some of you, it may already be in the very recent past. So the first marker of time is December 4th, 2025. This is the full moon in Gemini. Now, around this full moon, I need you to be working with your affirmations and your mantras and your messages. I want you to put those messages everywhere, all over your house. I want you to write them on pieces of paper, tape them to all of your different surfaces, put reminders on your phone and in your calendar, text yourself in the future, send yourself a letter by snail mail or whatever the kids are doing these days. Fill your place and space with these messages and pay attention in your immediate environment, wherever you happen to find yourself in the day-to-day, and most importantly, in your most private spaces. Pay attention to what occurs to you when you are working with these messages and mantras. Here we are extending our consciousness into the fabric of our actual lives, and we are opening up to symbolic messages from the universe that might want to come in and support these messages to get further refined, clarified, or invigorated. And my homework for you is to really practice speaking these messages out loud and then trying to see in your day-to-day environment how these messages are already happening, are already true, and are already supporting you. 2 weeks later, on December 19th, just a couple of days after Mercury has left its retrograde shadow, just a few days before Capricorn season begins, we have a new moon in Sagittarius. Now, this new moon needs action from you. It needs practical action, and it needs action that is taken deliberately and sustainably. And that means probably bite size, small steps, little gestures. You've got the messages all over your space. You are repeating them to yourself. You're paying attention to the environment around you for confirmation and validation of what your messages are. And now we need to put them into action. So around this new moon, my homework for you is to initiate some kind of new pattern or habit or way of being or putting yourself out into the world that is in alignment with your message, with your affirmation. This could look like so many things. It could look like making a post on social media and letting people know that this is what you're doing and actually starting to get some relational buy-in. It could look like you deciding that every single day for 5 minutes a day, you're going to concentrate on realizing this affirmation that you've given to yourself by doing some kind of practice or by doing just one little task that's going to get you there. Okay, so whatever occurs to you in terms of action, practical action, this is what you are doing. You are setting yourself in motion to realize what this dream needs from you, which is buy-in on the material level with your body, with your voice, with your intentionality. That is what you are doing. Okay? Okay. Let me know how it goes. I'm so curious. Please leave me a comment and let me know. Did you go through this whole guided meditation? Are you still listening to this? If so, what came through for you? Your likes, your comments, your subscriptions, your follows, your shares with your networks of Embodied Astrology helps me out so much, and I'm so grateful to you. Every time you like and comment, it really helps the channel. It helps me continue to do what I love to do. If you find these readings valuable, please help me keep doing them. And I love your comments. I love knowing what's happening for you. It really fills my heart to be in actual relationship and not just behind a screen talking to myself. So talk back to me. Let me know how it's going. And I hope that you really keep working with this journey that you've been on, because this is a powerful turning point. As I already have talked about, in 2026, all the outer planets are changing signs. We are moving into a new world, a new life. A lot of things are shifting and changing. Things that we do not currently think are possible might be completely possible and practical in the future. Things that we think are totally practical right now might seem completely bonkers then. So this is a time of surprise. This is a time of miracles. This is a time of impossible solutions. And this is a time to really, really focus and concentrate and reach for our biggest dreams. And Pisces, I hope that anything or everything that I've offered helps you to do that. I am wishing you all the best in Sagittarius season and beyond. Thanks for being here. Bye for now. I hope you enjoyed your Sagittarius season reading. Thank you so much for listening. If you're still here and you enjoyed your reading so much that you want to play around with embodied astrology with me, I hope you can join me sometime for my weekly virtual class, Somatic Space. You can catch me live on Zoom every Monday, where we tune in with the lunar cycle, solar season, and transits for the week ahead, and work with gentle mind, heart, body practices that prepare us to meet what's coming with skill and style. And you can always get the recording if you can't attend live. There's also so much more going on at Embodied Astrology, including our weekly chart reading study groups, which are amazing, nurturing spaces where you can learn about your chart and how to read charts for others through relationship and conversation. We also offer seasonal workshops timed to support you with current astrology. Our next upcoming workshop is in Capricorn season on January 3rd's Cancer full moon, and it's called Care is in Your Hands with Daniel Addy. I'm really excited for this workshop, and I think it's going to be very on time, as the astrology at that point is really encouraging us to care deeply for our inner worlds and take care of our structural support. Daniel is a longtime astrology lover and astrologer, as well as a fantastic body worker and massage therapist, and someone who I've been working with now for almost 5 years, and who has helped me so much in my personal healing path. Daniel is a Capricorn, and you might know that Capricorn's energy has a lot to do with our bones, skeletons, and postures. In this full moon workshop, Daniel will be teaching accessible self-massage practices that we can use throughout the year to tend to the parts and places in our bodies that are most prone to postural stress and pain. All of our offerings at Embodied Astrology are always sliding scale, with additional scholarships provided for those experiencing financial difficulties. So there's no excuse really to miss this workshop. Your back, your shoulders, your hips, and your neck, and maybe your friends' bodies will all thank you. So once again, find everything you need to connect with me and learn more about Embodied Astrology's offerings in the show notes or at embodiedastrology.com. All right, friends, thank you so much for being here. I am wishing you all the best in your Sagittarius season journeys. Bye for now.